Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that ain't hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the absentness, daily practice his rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that ain't hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, Welcome to the dojo. It's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo. I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need. G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practice his rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for ELO farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis. With lengthy game analysis, with sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work, will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work, will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I give up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the club is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Aragicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine
That
did he
ain't
hacking?
Mouse.
He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll read.
All right, my friends, here we go. This is the grad show and beautiful time of the week. This will be kind of a long show. I don't know if I'll get done with it. If I don't, I'll do more tomorrow. Till later today, we're going to do a dojo talk, so that's why I'm a touch early getting this started. All right, first up, we got Lumbra. And Lumbra says, after a long time in the dojo, I was already part of Dojo 1.0. I'm trying to graduate for the first time. After trying different cohorts and not really progressing, I went to the 0 to 300 cohort. I know that I'm too strong for this cohort right now and also changed my preferred rating to Lead Chess. Unfortunately, I have too few opportunities to play tournaments that are impacting my national rating. In the beginning, I mostly played the English as well. Okay, wait a second. Is this person... Let's click on this person. 50 years old. Okay, this person is in the wrong cohort. This is the wrong cohort. So, let's go back what he's saying. So, what I would like you to do is, Lumbra, go to your correct cohort. Okay? Now, at this moment, it would be the 500 to 600 cohort because that's what you have as Lichess as your preferred rating. Okay? And the other thing I want to give just a quick shout to is forget the openings for a while. Trust the dojo. It's not time for the openings yet. All right, let's move on. This Squish FC. Let's see what Squish says or does. We're going to give him a follow. Got up to 436. Hasn't done much and is a pretty new member. A lot of times new members, just being next to the dojo, they'll get some progress. But he hasn't done much. Let's go see. No clubs, no games. So Squish, tell us a little bit about yourself. Put some games up. Do some work. Good. Welcome to the dojo. Now we got Dark Knight Philosopher, who has done quite a bit of work. Let's give him a follow. Joined middle of last month. And as you can see, has a glorious heat map going on here. So, philosophy and theology. Oh, this dude's interesting. All right. So, 407 looking good. Clubs, Toledo. Okay. So, I would love to know more about the philosophy and theology he's involved with. So, as you can see, he's done quite a bit of work. And if we look at the rating graph, well, the work paid off. This is a great example. Somebody joins the dojo, they do some work, and then parabolic curve to the rescue. Okay, so we got some games. We got loads. All right, so let's click on this one. Now, actually, I'm going to click on this one down here, and I want to stress that the lowest time control that we want is a 30-0. However, I think I understand what's going on. Is our guy is playing like some USCF games at maybe a 25-0 tournament. Okay, let's click on this one. So, first thing is, I bet I have to reset my game review panel. So let's just reset it. I have to do this every show. I don't know why. My rating as a streamer, it's improving, but it's not, it's not that amazing. So I have to do this every time. Okay. Does this look mostly okay? This looks a little bit too big. So let's just zoop. Nope. Zoop. Let's go zoop. And then we'll go zoop. Yeah, that looks appropriate. Okay. Good. Now, let's first look at the time graph. And actually, so I'm doing this big series on how to make different chess.com ratings. Oh, wait. Fix the... every beginning of every show, we just got to dial it in here. Boom. There's the time graph. And in this series, one of the things that I'm talking about is that at this level, we often see people moving too fast. However, our guy here is doing fine with the clock. In fact, just exemplary, as we say. Okay, so that looks good. We'll go back here. All right. So, and now E5, and he says standard theory for Jobava. Well, no. At this point, dude has to play either bishop D6 or knight A6. Definitely not E5. You said thank you very much. E5, we should put as a question mark. Good. 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 Okay. Okay. Fine. A little weird because he's got bishop G6, but you're doing fine. You're setting yourself up with that bishop G6 stuff. Okay. Okay, poor move. One of the main reasons why this is poor, or is there's probably a tactical problem, but the tactical problem is going to arise when you aren't developing and opening your position, right? So, what would we like to do? Either castles or move the bishop back, because the knight doesn't actually do anything except hit our bishop. What brand of espresso maker? I use a pour over, and I got this amazing for Christmas. I got this amazing foamer thing, dude. So that's been my new little toy. Okay, so e4, standard mistake. Bishop g6 looks very annoying. Queen e2, and things have gone bad, right? Things have gone bad. Boom, that looks annoying. Knight h2 and maybe e3 now. No, he doesn't do it. Queen a4. Okay, so here he had several good moves. He could have played knight e5. He could think about e3. Knight e5 is the easiest one to do. So something to stress is, at this level, it's not going to be the openings. Nothing of that. It's, are you hanging stuff? So for example, black should take this. It's a free pawn. Just take it. And what I call that in this series I'm doing, as I say, it's like having a grip on the board. Right? Which pieces attack which squares? So that doesn't make any sense. Here, probably knight e3 to block this bishop from opening itself up here. e3 looks dangerous. He misses it. e3 looks dangerous. Knight e5 is the end of the world. Boom. Ah, no. And now e3. Let's just say it's maybe, but it's too fancy. It's too fancy. Just move the knight to d3. You don't need to be fancy at this point. bc1. Now knight d3 looks like a good move. He trades. What? So this is what I mean. People aren't seeing that their coconuts are hanging. So you say, thank you very much. Knight f3, terrible move. And now the knight can take. And now maybe he means to be fancy. I don't know. Honestly, I'm guessing that black did not see knight d2, queen c2. Knight e5, thank you very much. f4, thank you very much. And now queen c4 check. Good move. Now you're winning. That wasn't it. Okay, so this game, nothing to do with Yobava London or anything like that. Basic control of squares. White ends up winning the battle of that. And we'll also just note this is mate. Right? Okay. Now, one thing I want to stress is when you go through the game, the most important thing I want you to do at this level is to mark where you or your opponent are hanging coconuts, right? So for example, I'll just do one, but there were many in this game. e5, question mark, hanging a clean coconut, right? Okay, well done. We're going to mark that as reviewed. We'll continue. This is Mo. Mo, I've been looking at Mo for a while, actually, for a variety of reasons. I'm really glad to see that Mo made it, because if I remember right, no, Mo's is somebody different. Mo has just been crushing it. Now, let's just say something unfair about chess in progress. If you're young like Mo, you're probably going to see a bit faster progress. And Mo is crushing it in terms of his heat map. Look at this thing. Yeah, I started beginning of this year, graduated already numerous times. Okay? So he's doing great. Probably, I'm going to say he's going to graduate again. Right? So, clubs. Now, Mo, can we get a can you create the Switzerland club bus? I would love to see a Switzerland club. I feel like I traveled all over Europe. I never made it to Switzerland because I was too poor at the time, you know. I was just way too poor to even breathe the word Switzerland. You had to pay like 200 euros just breathing that word. But maybe now in my old age I could go. All right, good. So here we go. Some 30-0 games. Beautiful. Let's take a look at this one. So let's see a time graph. Oh, this is a good one. Bang. Take a look at this time graph. These people are really good. Look at that. That is some really good time management, right? Yeah. So again, oftentimes in the grad show, when we're talking about especially the under 1,000 cohorts, thinking about online games, we often see people who are moving much too fast. Here we're seeing really good time usage. Okay. So let me just say the obvious. Eventually, you'll play longer games. At a 30-0 game, if it becomes competitive, it will turn into a blitz situation at the end. Doesn't matter how you use the time, right? If it's competitive, nobody's winning, it's going to turn into a mess, which we see in this game. Okay, fine. Fine. Little funky. This helped white develop a bishop. Great. Simple and strong note. Yeah? Don't help them develop. So good. Little weird. Why play the knight to d2? And I'm going to guess this is an example of white doing themselves a disservice by knowing the opening. So what I mean by that is generally in a London, you might get the knight to d2. Nah, what are we doing? The knight's better on c3. Fine. Little funky. Maybe it's okay, but it's a little funky because it's moving a developed piece twice. Probably we should take the thing and play knight e4. You in here. This makes me nervous. Queen a4, bishop b5 scares me. He doesn't do anything. Castles. Rook c1. Rook d8. He needs to take your knight at some point. Queen b3. Now he doesn't. Okay. So now you play knight b4. And I want to say what queen b3 sets you up to do is to at least equalize the game with knight a5 and snipping this bad boy. Right? So knight b4 is weird. And now you're losing a coconut. Rook a8. We're going to call that passive. Better would be rook b8 and then taking this pawn. Rook a8. All right. Bishop d5, weird. Doesn't make any sense to me. Ed, okay. As you know, you could actually also do knight d5. Boom. Fine. Pawn takes. Okay, good. Knight f3, I'm not sure I understand that move. Knight f3. Knight e4. Okay. Queen e7. Now, I think they could probably win a pawn. Maybe it's controversial, but like some kind of knight e7. This doesn't seem right. Rook fe8 or something. Rook a e8. But now you're dropping your a pawn. Now, if I was playing this, because I'm such a boring dude, I might just trade the queens and then take the pawn. But okay. h6. Good as... Now, I would normally call that a good move, but it is setting you up to play rook a8 and win at least a pawn back with rook a8 here. Okay. Ooh, poor move. Now bishop e2. Very nice. Let's take it. Thank you very much. And now you're back in the game. Queen g6. Again, what I really want people to do is write down where you blew it. So here we're blowing it with knight e7. Yeah. Knight b3, good move. Well, actually, let's say some obvious things. Maybe white shouldn't play rook c1. Oh, that's so we're gonna say I don't know how much you saw of that, but that was clever. So clever, good, well done. Boom. Now, white's still winning. That doesn't make any sense. What is it doing? Queen takes d6. That's weird. Queen takes f2. Thank you very much. Again, mark down when people are losing their coconuts. Now, this one scares me because you are going to have a knight against the pawns. Should the knight win? Yes, but there's no need to let him have it. Just play here and here. Something like that. It's going to be harder for the knight to catch those pawns. Like now, it's making me nervous. Now, King F2. This is where we need some annotations. D3. Here, B7, please. You're going to have to find knight B8. It's still going to be hot here. It's still going to be hot. Like here, here. Now you got to play knight B8. And I play here, here, here. This is what I mean. It makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. You might not, it's not necessarily over Grover, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. So a little bit more annotations. And again, I want to stress, at this level, you want to be hypersensitive to who is hanging their coconuts. You and your opponent will be hanging those coconuts, and those are the moves that you want to pay particular attention to. Okay, next up, Tristan, also graduating. Oh, but he's saying no. He's just working his way up, so we'll ignore him as he wishes. Dami. I remember Dami from last week. Faugra says, the Discord grad stream says this doesn't start until 1. The Twitch and YouTube channels both have it posted correctly. Okay, thank you about that. I have it on my to-do list to make sure everything's set. So I have to fix it. I also shifted. Sometimes I've been doing all of the grads like in one day, and there was a time where I was doing 2 days in a row. So I have to get it a little bit more dialed in, and I apologize for that. So here we go. Dami says, and I said at the beginning of the stream, but I want to say it again. I started a little early. I usually have been starting at 12, but I started early because we're going to do a Dojo Talks a little later, and those boys need me to be available. Dami says, another week and another graduation. It's actually amazing how much of a difference following the training plan has made in how I approach each game. I now spend time to make sure I have a solid reason for each move I make that is not reliant on my opponent playing a certain move. I'm also trying to see what my opponent's moves are trying to achieve and shutting down their plans. All of this combined has led to some rapid improvement, and I'm excited to see just how high I can go. Great! I remember Dami from last week. So, as you can see, flying through the dojo here, just flying. He's just started, and now he's just crushing it. We might see him graduate again next week. Let's see if we got some clubs. Dami, tell us where you are. Join a club. Games. So, this one's fairly recent. 30-0 makes a lot of sense. All right. It's sad that I missed my first graduation because of that. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I'm going to try to dial it in a little bit better. I promise. So here's Dami. Let's see what we got with the clock. Time graph. Now, Dami is moving too fast. Okay? So unless he's just crushing here, he is moving too fast. This is why we created the main impetus for creating this time management rating and the time graph itself was to have people witness how fast they move. And one of the great reasons we go over our games is Dami says right here, he says, my time usage was not as good as has been in other games, and this really shows in the middle game when I lose my advantage. So great. Part of, what's the window open up for? One of the main points of reviewing our games is simply to become aware of this kind of mistake when we do it. There's a jump move right there. Good. Fine. 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 H3, I don't know. Knight A5, okay. We'll go take his thing. You're playing good chess so far. G5, bishop G3, and now a spicy move, D5. Now, one of the things we want to say is pawn moves are not developing moves, okay? And maybe we can do this, but it is definitely spicy. And the reason we wouldn't necessarily be inclined to do this move is both of these pieces are all jammed up at the moment. They're not going anywhere. But the second we play D5, they at least have a target to work with, right? So the default move could be bishop E6. All right, he takes. Boom, boom, and now B6, which I don't like, mostly on the principle of development. Now, if this thing with D5 is going to work, we need to find a way, maybe we can't, but find a way to pressure this knight and then the pawn behind it with maybe a queen E7 or something like that. B6, I guess I get what you're doing. You're trying to get fancy with the bishop B7. Okay. Rook D1 looks good. Queen E8. Fancy. Queen D3. I don't know. I don't know about no queen D3. So, bishop B7, F3. Okay. And now snip. Here I played rook D8. I can see, analyzing the game now, that I had a double attack I should have played. Namely knight H5. Winning the game, by the way. Now, why are we winning so early? Because your opponent wasn't developing their coconuts, right? And one of the interesting things about you sacking the pawn, whether it was right or wrong, is you kind of encouraged him to bitterly hold on to that coconut, right? To go bitterly hold on to that coconut. And, oh, Lumbra in the chat. No, I didn't cover you, buddy, because you were in the wrong cohort. That's right. So Lumbra, I'm sorry about that, but no, you got to be in the right cohort. Okay. So you are winning because they were hanging onto their pawn, not giving it back as they probably should have. And now all their coconuts are hanging with a move like knight H5. One thing to really see here is that with rook D8, you are probably missing the queen takes D8 trick. Okay, I'm guessing you just saw it and you impulsively played it. And this is exactly what we're talking about when we talk about slowing down. Now he's up a pawn. And I don't know if you can get it back easily. Knight H5. I'm not sure it does anything now because he should just play bishop H2. But he does not. And you said, give me that bishop. And now you said bishop A6. I thought that's a good move. I like that move a lot. H4, maybe. Notice he's got a simple problem where he has to develop his rook, and H4 is a way to do that. GH4, probably not. Though it's not super easy to know what you should be doing here. My own 2 cents would be check to the knight. Let's imagine for a second knight E3. And then we say check to the knight. And then maybe G4. It's getting hot, but I want to open the position for the bishops. This one, now his rook's going to talk to you. And now knight F5 is going to win a coconut. He finds it. And now knight H6 is the easy one. He plays this. And now does that. Okay. Now, so notice the knight's a little bit discoordinated. He should play knight F5 here. You took. Oh, no. Oh, no. And so let's say the obvious. On king F6 here, you spent 10 seconds, right? 10 seconds were spent. Okay, so that is what we want to say as a typical, we want to use this game as a typical example of somebody moving too fast. And it's hard. It is hard to slow down. We've talked a lot about it. I've done videos about this. But it is the thing holding your chess back right now. And most of the people, not the thing, it's one of the main things that's holding you back right now. Okay, so let's continue. And now we have Shane. I didn't do as good a job of completing my task for this cohort as the last one. I've been doing some chessable courses and playing and analyzing some combination of rapid and classical. Played in an OTB recently, so hopefully can review one of those for graduation. Okay, great. Now, Shane, with chessable courses, I hope you're not doing openings. I hope not. Thank you, Lumbra. Thank you. That makes sense to me. All right, so let me first copy and paste this thing. All right, and we'll go take a look at Shane. And I'm following here. Now that my daughter is 6, this is second graduation, going to sleep at a regular time, get some play in the evening, okay? And I believe he's got a OTB in the pocket. 801, nice graduation. As you can see, a very nice heat map and a very nice progression with the rating. That's what we like to see here at the dojo. 50 plus, I'm in that one, buddy. Yep. All right, games. Oh, now here we got something important. 1510, Shane, is not where we want to be. But you told me that you had a game OTB, so let's click on this one. Bang. So this is Washington Open against Shane, and we do have a time graph. So here we go, and incredibly, white is, well, it's not incredible. This happens all the time, is that somebody is not thinking. And because I think one of the benefits of the dojo is when I yell at you for you not using enough time, there's hopefully, and other people maybe yell at you, there's a culture at the dojo which is like, bows, at least take your time. These other people you're playing, they're not going to use anything. Okay, he said after that he played intentionally fast. Not a good strategy. So, great. Okay, so let's get into this game. And I'm going to mark it as reviewed. And so here we go. This is an OTB. By the way, I very much appreciate, Shane, that you wrote down the times. I know that's not easy, but it helps you and me see what was going on with the time during the game. All right, this move looks a little frisky to me because white could play bishop c6 and knight e5. And this one's a little weird too. But you're doing fine. Honestly, as long as you don't stop developing, you're going to be okay. So this is the first move I don't like. Why? Because it's not developing. But you're still okay. Okay. Fine. 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 You could also play d6. This is fine. And now d4. Okay, now one of the things, actually, this is a little advanced, so I don't even know if I want to go there. But d6, although it looks miserable, keeps your structure solid. You know, everybody's protected. And now with d5, you thought for a while on it too. By the way, you have plenty of time here. So this is a long time control game that he's playing. If he can force you to play d4, as you do here, and it's honestly not easy for you to not play it. I kind of think you might need to play something like knight d7 just to keep that tension in the center. But anyways, this is a mild achievement for him because now he's got this square and this weak pawn. All right, so h3, okay, fancy, good move. All right, rook b8, fine. Bishop a3, pointless, very good. You could also play knight d7, knight d2. Okay, now makes me a little nervous, but you're still doing fine. Queen d2, rook a8, okay. Rook c1 makes no sense. Now, the kid is going to be playing random moves because he's not thinking. And you say, rook d8, not 100% sure of my plan here. I might have been thinking about getting the knight to b7 to protect the a pawn. Okay, that would be a journey. That would be a journey. Moves I like are like g6 to stop the knight and maybe just gain some space. Yeah, you're doing fine. Now, this, I can understand that this kind of position could drive you insane, right? And in general, you want to just do things like g6 to prevent your opponent from doing stuff. He's not actually doing anything to you here. Okay. I don't know what either side is doing. Good. Okay. That move I don't like. Engine says f6 was better. So what's the problem? When you play f5, you are creating a situation where he's going to get control of the e4 square and you're opening up these guys. If you're going to play g5, you probably want to get a pawn to take it back so you don't lose control of that square. You are doing fine here, and a move like f6, you're just saying, boss, I'm in control. Now, what I can really appreciate, too, is you're thinking. You're thinking here, right? Okay, so he blows it. Why? Because he moves too fast. And f4, nice move. So now you're gaining space, and you're killing this bishop. Okay. Knight h1. Well, we can't complain. And right, f3 looks fantastic. f3 looks great. Why? Because you want to open up his king. All right. g5. You're still doing great. f3. Now, what I want you to see here is what we really want is we want to bring this rook over here and then play for h5, g4, right? So knight f6 first, maybe. Okay. Good. Good move, rook g6. Queen g1. This guy doesn't know. He doesn't know. And now knight f6. You talk about g4. Oh, g4 would be a hell of a move. Yeah, let's look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Hello. Hello. Oh, baby. That's what he gets. Woo. Well, thank you, Falger. I try. You know, one bummer is I've never figured out there's a way to do the chat on YouTube and Twitch, and my restream thing is broken and they won't help me out at the dojo. I've asked a number of times. So anyways, I try. All right. So g4 would be a hell of a move. I'm not upset, though. Knight f6, great. We're just building it. g3, oh, frisky. So what's the issue with g3? Well, he's opening the position up on your side of the board. Fine. Maybe. I think you could also bring the other rook in. That one I don't like because you're giving control over this square up. Okay. And he could play knight g4, and I guess he's okay then. All right, I think he should have taken with a rook. Okay, interesting. Now, The issue with knight f4 is, if he had taken, as he should have, it might be hard. It might be hard to actually get in. So while it looks weird, I think we should consider knight g7 followed by an attempt to take over the f file. Your opponent doesn't understand that, though, because they're thinking too fast. Rook f8, good move. Let's bring the other rook in. Nice. King g1. Knight e6, fine. Let's just talk about what our problem is. And this is the kind of thing I'd want you to write in your notes. The bishop is poor. Lacrios asks, am I doing 1,000 grads today? So far, that's what it is. He might need 1,000 plus, and if I get to it, I will. All right, so knight e6. Now the bummer is, if we trade everything off, now we've lost a lot of dynamic opportunities for ourselves. So, first of all, even though white has played miserably here, it's not super easy to see how we're going to knock this guy out. I think this is the best move. And notice he can't move the knight. And so maybe we would see bishop takes, rook takes here. And we don't want him to trade everything off, so that's why I think this is a good move. And we'll get in. We'll at least get in. All right, we traded everything. And you say, was trying to simplify since I was low on time. Yeah, so the issue is, let's just look at this. It's now very dangerous because your pawns are weak and your bishop is so poor. Your bishop on c7. I don't understand king g1. Knight e2 check. So by the way, what's the simple thing for him to do? Knight b2. If the knight comes, he takes, puts this knight here. Good winning chances. Okay, now he's got a lot of weak pawns to deal with. Knight c4, though, is more flexible because the knight wasn't going anywhere. And now we lost our coconut. Oh, man. It's really kind of unfair. Man. And, well, we talk about this being the fatal mistake, but honestly, you're already gone here. Yeah, and your notes are appropriate. Oh, so sometimes these children, when they're moving too fast, they'll beat us. And I think one of the challenges of this game, and I would have found it challenging too, is you got to a position in the middle game where it was hard to find plans. And he didn't know what he was doing either. He was just moving back and forth, you know. And so next time, hopefully you'll be able to positionally outplay him. But I understand how that went downhill. Okay. Oh, I hate it. I hate it when they beat a dojo or when they don't use any time. All right, so there we go. Shane, that was a good annotation. And what we also want to say is you and your opponent really didn't hang a lot of coconuts until the very end, right? Maybe it was a kind of position where it was hard to hang the coconuts, but basically no one was hanging coconuts. All right, so that's encouraging. Next up, we got Feral Cat. Feral Cat says, climbing again as I try to find my level in classical games on Lichess. Still provisional there, but even if I level back down to 700 classical, that's still a couple cohorts above where I am now. 1700, excuse me. So moving up again. Again, super happy with materials the dojo provides and the support and help from the community on Discord. If I get a bit more confident about what my Lichess classical rating will stabilize at, I'll search out a training and sparring partner and get active that way. So, and then he wants to take out partially human. We do want to see, is Feral Cat in the right cohort? No Feral Cat. We're going to give Feral Cat a follow. No. No, Feral Cat, you're in the wrong cohort. You're either in the, 1500 or 1400 cohort, right? And you got a huge tactics rating. So, Feral Cat, I would love to look at a game, but we want to keep the people, want to do people in the right cohort. Okay, here we go. Next up, we have Atagavi. Feral Cat is in the chat. And I get it. You're stronger than that cohort, though, Feral Cat. Come on now. It's obvious to me. All right, Atagavi here. So, Atagavi looks like they just joined. And no, they did not just join. I said that because their heat map was empty. No, they've been here for a while. Made 931. Haven't done any work. Let's see what's going on. Clubs, nothing. Games, nothing. So, Atagavi, buddy, you've been with us for a while. You made this graduation. Now it's time. It's time. It's time to do the stuff. Put in a game. Do some activities. All right. There's Atagavi. Now we have Borman. And Borman, I haven't heard from him in a while, but I definitely remember the name as somebody who's graduated numerous times. Yeah, look at that. So here is his graduation. And when was the last time he graduated? It's been a while. Yeah. So actually, looking at this, it's interesting where, you join the dojo, you start working. He got 2 graduations, and then it took a little longer to get the next one, And I expect he'll continue. Honestly, he could graduate again. He's at 1006. But it took him a while, and he's doing great. And I think he's just inspirational. Right. Okay. So the rating suggests that he is going to be going up again fairly soon, honestly. George Hornsby asks, is it only the under 1,000? I think we're going to continue. I think we're going to go beyond that. And again, I apologize. I got to get the times and things set up better. All right, loads of clubs. Let's go Philly. FIDE Online Arena. Oh, I didn't even know about the FIDE Online Arena. Okay, so looking good. All right. Games. Loads. And now, let me just say, we're moving up the cohorts now. In general, we will be looking at a minimum time control of 30 plus 30. So let's go over here and do this first one. Time graph. Holy moly. Now, what we often see, okay, let me just say what it looks like to me. Then we'll see if the game bears this out. So it's 30 plus 30. They use their time reasonably well at the beginning, and then they stop thinking. And what I want to say about that is often what we see at the dojo is they get to an end game and then they're unable to think, both because it's an end game and they don't know what's going on, and there's a lot of calculation and it's hard for them to calculate, and because they're exhausted. So that's, maybe we'll see. We'll just check around move 25 what happened there, right? Okay, question. Hey, Jesse, it's my understanding you one-on-one coaching. Where to contact you to inquire about that? You could contact me on our Discord. I'm doing less of it now. I did start a workshop. It's been a very enjoyable workshop so far, where we're looking at game annotations. And right now we have a workshop with 5 people, and it goes from 1,200 to 1,500. I'm going to start another workshop in a couple weeks, and I'm just going to raise a little bit. So it'll go 1,300 to 1,600. And I'll try to make the announcement maybe in the next week when that will be. Okay, great. Let's go into the game. So this is Mr. Borman. So far, so good. Fine. Little frisky, c5. Okay. I think this is too much for black to do this. So dc5 here, and now we have a critical moment where you mentioned queen a4. At the bare minimum, that's a reason for black not to play this way. Okay, e3. Okay, e3 can't be wrong. Now, I would be a little nervous about knight e4, but I'm going to go ahead and say I think you're completely fine after that, for a variety of reasons. Queen c5, b3. I hate this move. All right, this is very important to understand, Mr. Borman, why I despise this move so much. Why I despise it so much. It's not a developing move, and it's dramatically weakening your dark squares. I think it probably loses, probably just loses. Okay, and you thought for 4 minutes on it. Now, one thing, first of all, I understand you're worried about dc4. I get it. If you're worried about dc4, the lame-o way of dealing with it is to play queen d4. However, let's just say you play bishop e2 or something. First of all, it costs him a tempo to take it, so we could sack the pawn, but also we could also be a lame-o and just check and recapture. Okay, you are ahead in development in this position. I would say you're a little bit better. Also, another simple option is just to take this thing. Give him ye old Isolani. That's probably objectively the best move. Okay, but not b3. This is the kind of thing where I really want to stress. Well, let me tell you about this series I'm doing. Okay, I'm doing this series, How to Make 500. Chess.com, 600, 700. And basically, as we come up these cohorts, people will start hanging their pieces less and less, right? At the level we're at here, we're still going to be hanging some pieces. But what will most often happen is people will be giving away tempi. Now, they've been giving up tempi in the lower cohorts too, but at those cohorts, they're not able to take advantage of tempi. Okay, here, it's going to start. You're going to start getting to a cohort where it's going to get a little frisky. Okay, so queen a5, queen d2, and now black impulsively plays bishop b4. Terrible move. Knight e4, as you say, and bishop b4. Why do they do it? Because they're just like, oh, that has to be good. And you make a very good move here. Boom. Boom. And now you say cd5, ed5, and you say the game seemed equal until this point. There are a bunch of weaknesses in black's pawn structure. Right, as long as you don't lose your knight, then I'm going to agree with you. Check to the miserable king. Maybe not correct. I think king e7 would just get out of the way. All right, snip, snap. You help develop his pieces. Castles. Now is rook c8 killing us? Boom. Queen d5, and you say tactics galore here. Bishop c3, though, what are we doing? You got queen a5, you're saying, huh? And then ba5, rook c2, and you're saying you're going to live through this. Now, did you see all this, dude? This is where it gets weird for me. Did you see it? Let me stress here, the reason this all starts happening is because you're the one who creates the development for black to put the rook on the c file in the first place, right? He's got a ways to go before he actually can do it to you. So if you just develop and castle, I don't think he's fast enough. High quad XE. All right, so here we go. Castles. This is a very fancy tactics. Very fancy. And now rook, very fancy. Now, again, it's a little bit suspicious that we had to rely on this. But I guess it's working. That isn't it. Check. Thank you. Game over. Good. Oh, okay. So here was where I was like, they're moving way too fast. Okay. So rook f1, he's still in control of the time. Knight e4, good move. Fine. Fine. ed4 is also good. h4. Okay. Now we're moving definitely way too fast. What do we have here? We have a situation where you should be winning, but it's a little hot. It's a little hot. Now, if we go back a second, you're still using your time correctly. Whose king? Whose king is more in danger? His king. So ed4 is technically better. And you're doing fine here, but you can see there's reason to be a little bit nervous. h4. He plays knight takes d4. I get it. h5. And now knight f5. Let's just say a5 or b5 should come to mind. Knight f5 was terrible. Good. Okay. Notice how he killed his knight. Oh, that was very nice. Now he plays a2. And I guess you're in time. The a2 wasn't it though, was it? All right. So, I'm going to take back a lot of my criticism about the time usage. It could have been slower, but it is true that when we got to this point, it is pretty well done. Okay, well done. That was Kay Borman. I'm going to say pretty good looking game, except for the crime, the chess crime of b3 over here. Even if, like, and don't tell yourself, oh, it was a mistake because black has a tactic here. No, it was a mistake because you need to get your king to safety. And that's not a development. Well, Nordovich, there you go, buddy. Nordovich, I haven't heard from you in a long time, so it's good to hear from you. All right. Next up, we have Radanus, who has graduated numerous times. And let's go look at Radanus. Excited to join the dojo. Loved chess since I was a kid and played casually, though never in a structured way. Now, as an adult learner, I'm back into the game after a long break. Work as a consultant and being an insomniac. Oh, I think I remember this from last week. So, Radanus is graduating all over the place. It's unclear if they're doing much work, though. Let's go see. Clubs, ADHD, games. No, I take it. No, he's doing work. Now, Radanus, very important. In general, you need to be doing 30-30 games at a minimum here, okay? And the great place to do it are the round-robin tournaments. Let's go look at your 30-30 here. Oh, but these are ancient games, but these are ancient. This is 2024, Radanus. What's going on here? So it seems like you did it a bunch of games when you joined the dojo and haven't done any since. So one of the things I really try to do is just look at games that are recent. Okay, but Radanus, you're doing great. And yeah, well, let's get some more done. Next up, we got Tick. What does Tick say? Thanks for the training plan. Since I follow your plan, my rating is increasing. I'm really training instead of watching passively opening courses on YouTube. Perfect. I still don't know how to analyze my games without a computer, but I'm trying to work on it. My priority work is tactics. Okay. Now, a couple things I want to say, because a lot of people might be in your shoes. Like, how do I analyze a game? Especially when you're just starting, I think it's really good to have somebody to work with. So if you're somebody maybe in the same cohort, Maybe someone you played a game with even. And you can start just by asking some questions with that person of like, well, what should I be looking at in this game, right? It's a fun way to start because at the beginning you might say to yourself, oh, I don't know what questions to ask, right? I don't know what I should be looking for. All right, let's go take a look at Tick. Congratulations on making it out of the 1,000. And Tick is clearly crushing here. Look at that work. So that looks great. And let's take a look at some clubs. French. There we go. Games. We got a game. 30 plus 0. Now, we are going to look at this Tick, but I want to stress 30 plus 30 is now the minimum for your classical games. Okay? One of the reasons, actually, in terms of analyzing your games, I want to stress is you want to play a longer game that you can then look at, right? It'll be more interesting to look at. There'll be more thoughts to consider. All right, here we go. Time. And what we're seeing is your opponent was a criminal when it came to time usage, right? Now, one of the things we'll see is even though we're getting higher in the cohorts, especially with online play, we're going to see people that aren't thinking. They're making impulsive moves. And that's definitely what we're seeing here. Okay, so there's our time graph. And we could obviously say the same about you, Tick, right? Okay, here we go. But you did much better than your opponent for sure. It's sometimes hard for people to move slow when their opponent is moving so fast. You're doing fine. 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 You're doing fine. Fine. All right, Rook DE1. So now we get a little situation. Is your opponent just moving? They're just moving. Rook HE1 would make a lot more sense. And now you have to come up with a plan. I see many moves for you here. I see E5. I see knight B6. I see your move of knight E4. Yeah, so you're doing fine. Maybe they shouldn't take because now their knight has to go somewhere weird. Okay, so now it's really interesting. I had to choose which pawn I save. Choose F7 because it's another fork between my rooks. Okay, so now, if we don't have an idea here, then we don't want to do this move. The thing I thought maybe you were banking on, it's too deep, crack, too deep, but would be check to the miserable knight, takes. Now, we've got a mate threat. Is it significant? I don't know. I just know it's a little hectic here. White has many moves that they could play. C3 is one of them. King D1 is another one. But do you have compensation? Maybe. Let's say C3, knight B6. He gets one of your rooks, you're going to come at his king. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. So, we got to say that you probably miss knight G5 here, right? Because we don't want to give him the pawn. Knight E4, knight B6, queen A5, okay? Rook H5. Attack the queen, but I forget my pawn. So basically, he's pawning you. He's pawning you. All right, here we go. Queen C7, knight C5. You're kind of doing a random attack on him here. All right, so now we got the endgame. Now, you still have plenty of chances to hold this because your opponent's moving too fast. Good. Weird. Okay. That looks a little suspicious. Okay. And now you go check to the miserable king. And now you play knight G2. Self-pinning my knight. I don't know what to do. He had no safe square. Now, you don't have to take on E3. Okay, you don't have to. And look at what happens. Your opponent is not thinking and plays instantly this one. And now you have an exclam. Bam! Now you're back in the game. Now you're back in the game. Good. All right. You got a couple good moves here. You play rook f8. It's a mistake. Whenever you make a mistake like this, try to say what you should have done. Right? Now, what we will say is this rook f3 was surprisingly annoying. It's surprisingly annoying. It's unfairly annoying, I even want to say. It's unfairly annoying. Oh, yeah. What a bummer. Because we can't move the pawn. Because of this pawn. Oh, that was unfair. I want to say that's bad luck. Yeah, because if he comes... Oh, man. What a bummer. So we want to say what you should have done, and I don't know. This is a really bad situation. Oh, it's unfair. It's very unfair. I feel for you here. Because White blew it. White was the one who blew it, and then this happens to us, and now there's really not much for us to do. Yeah, he doesn't need to be a genius, unfortunately, anymore. Oh! Okay, Tick, I want to say the obvious. It's sad when a dojoer loses a game against a chump who's not thinking, right? It sometimes is going to happen. You can improve your thinking, and I think, I just mean time management. And where it really cost you, the obvious ones to look at was you missed this move. So knight e4 was poor because you missed that move. And we want to mark it down as such on the score sheet. Then the other really obvious one is you got to protect your pawns. Okay? And here, rook h5, you played that in 17 seconds. So that's what I'm talking about, right? Right there. That's how your game is going to be destroyed. Now, truth is, it's still kind of rough here, you know. And even here, like, knight b6 is probably a mistake, and we should be playing knight f6. Because he's getting lucky again, because in this position he can say check and, you know, take our coconut. Yeah, unfortunately, tactics and winless. Tactics and winless? Anyways, yeah. Rook d4 didn't work. I was thinking about that too. Okay. So, Tick, we're going to see you again soon. You're doing pretty good. Let's try to get... Not a bad annotation, by the way. Not a bad annotation. And again, hopefully some longer games. All right, next up we got Mixu. Mixu doesn't say anything. Let's see what's going on. Mixu has joined last year. We're going to give him a follow. They're now 1145, and you can see recently committed themselves to doing some good work over here. All right. Clubs. No clubs. We got some games. And notice, Mixu is correctly doing some longer games over here. Oh, no, but then didn't annotate them. Let's go back and see if we got another one. Oh, Mixu. We got to annotate those games, but we got to annotate them. All right. So, Mixu, you know what to do. You know what to do. Next up, we have Blood Flow Master. That's a nice, evocative name. I started playing chess online in 21 at the age of 48 and OTB in 23. Joined the Dojo training program in 24. It made a huge difference in my chess. I chose my English Federation rating as my preferred one, although it put me at the lowest cohort compared to my FIDE and Lichess. I think that's great because most of those games that you're playing will be ECF rating, as you say. In March 25, I lost some games. These losses, together with some of Cry's videos and books, such as Deep Work and The Mind Illuminated, amazing, led to a sudden breakthrough in my understanding of the mental aspects of chess, which helped my rating increase steeply. Beautiful. Thank you, David, Kosi, and Jesse, for your help, your contribution to chess in general, and for keeping me company with your videos when I'm at the gym. Okay. Nice. Interesting. Quad is in the chat saying that maybe he's a heart surgeon. That's exciting. That was a fit with Blood Flow Master. Then I can imagine maybe he doesn't have much time. One of those alpha people just moving and moving all the time and has to, do some task management, checking out my vids, and he's at the treadmill or something at the gym. Plug the book. Are we talking about how to analyze our games? Is that what we're talking about? Check it out, how to analyze your games by the dojo. Actually, periodically I go over there to Amazon and see how many reviews we've got or something like that. I haven't looked in a while, so let's go. Your games, ChessDojo. How to analyze your games. We only have 24 reviews? Come on, buddy. We need more reviews than that. Darn it. Well, I'm getting this link. I'm going to post it in the chat. You people need to be reading this book. And then if you need to give us a review on ye old Amazon. Okay, so here's Blood Flow Master. Let's go check him out. Maybe he'll rewatch this at the gym someday. Born in my birth year. Look at this. And he's been at it, dude. Look at this. Blood Flow Master, October. Look at this. This is a committed man here. ECF, crushing it over here, 11-17. Really nice to see. Staircase development over there. Yeah. Okay. He's playing a lot of classical games. Look at that. Okay, this is looking great. Tactics rating, it was a little bit all over the place. So maybe something's going on there. Clubs, 50 plus. Lifting heavy things. Nice. I'm in those ones. Games. All right. This will be fun. Dr. Otakon is in the dojo. Maybe this was a dojo game. The second one also looks interesting. That was a OTB game. Let's do Dr. Otakon. So, give this a click. And let's see do we have times? We do. We want to say that both players use their time well. This is Dojo Open Classical. And he's playing a lower rated opponent, though a famous one. This guy's have been, no chump. All right, we're going to go game review. So here we go. So far, so good. This is generally bishop c4 is a mistake. Now, it's funny. Gukesh played this setup without f4 and got a bad position against Erigaisi. Here, what should be stressed, it's even worse now for white if black finds knight takes e4. And the reason is that this pawn is really only good if he's a dynamic person. But if he loses his friend, he's going to have no control. So all our pieces are great, and this is a good trick to know. All right, so castles, he misses it, and now white's fine after d3. Bishop g4. Okay, so he played c5, transposing to some Sicilian stuff. However, as long as you develop, you're going to be okay. Good. Okay. Okay. Okay, you're doing fine. This move worried me because I wanted to play e6 to blunt the light square bishop, and I thought this was no longer a good option. Okay, so what we want to say is f5 is the right move on principle because he wants to develop the rook and the bishop. This is what we call the dream of Federico the f-pawn. Okay. Now, if we could, we would like to play knight d7. Unfortunately for us, he's got snip, snop, and snook, and we're toast. So we cannot do that. We would like to play knight d7 because we would like to get the knight to e5. All right, rook b8, I'm with you. Maybe I'd call it premature to take. There's no rush. a4, a6, and now knight d5. And you say this move did not make sense here. I agree. So, very important. Try to make an educated guess about what you think white should do. Right? To my mind, for example, a5 looks annoying. Just stopping you from doing b5. Okay. Good. Perfect. I'm going to guess he missed that. Bishop, b5. Beautiful. Beautiful, simple chess. Now you're fine because white's attack isn't going anywhere. c3, good move. Snip, snap. Queen g3. Is it superficial? It looks superficial. And now you talk about rook a8 looks good. And bishop e5, I don't know. Another simple default move you could think about here is b4. And the idea is I just want to move this pawn so I get access to that square. Right? Okay, so here we go. Bishop e5. He's playing for some kind of trick on the light squares. Okay. Queen e8. It's a little hokey, right? Queen h4, rook, bishop, 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 queen. And now we've got to say we're probably a little worse here. Or at least that we're in a situation where I feel nervous. Good move. Okay. Pop, pop, and now rook b7. All right. And here the question is, can he hurt you? Right? Can he hurt you? He plays bishop b3 after thinking 6 minutes. And I guess you're okay. Let's see. The question would be rook f7, bishop e6, and then I guess we're just going to say knight d8, and you're killing him. Little lucky. Little lucky. Okay, if we go back, if that's not going to work out for him, by the way, what's the simple thing he should do? Nah, don't trade queens. Don't trade queens. Go back. Go back. Keep those queens on the board. Okay. In fact, here, rook f3, it looks good, but it's not really what we wanted. Okay, so this all happens. Rook b7, king g7, good move. Poor move. And now knight e5 screams, I think, to be played. b4, oh, it's also a good move. That doesn't make any sense to me. Knight e5, good move. You're doing great. Yeah, I love your position here. d4, frisky. Now, let's call this the critical momentito for Mr. Sofrito. Here you spend 3 minutes, and if I was playing this game, I really want to tank on this move because let's talk about it. This rook is a little nervous for white. What do I mean? I mean, the thing is unhappy. It's unhappy there. It might get trapped. It's not actually doing anything. So you played knight c4. And honestly, it may be a pretty good move. White impulsively now plays bishop d3. And you find a great move. Look at this. Bang! Remember I was talking about how the rook on f6 made me nervous? Boom! Boom. And of course this is a mistake. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing now? You just gave me the exchange. All right, what do I need to see? Marble says, I'm worried. What? Marble's worried. Well, I don't know. I don't actually understand it. Did you make Fauger mad? I don't know. All right. So, Blood Flow Master, that was a a good game, and something, if you've been watching this grad show from the beginning, what I want you to see is, yes, we can criticize certain moves that Blood Flow made. Like, let's say at a GM level, maybe this is not so good. But basically, if Blood Flow Master just makes developing moves, he's going to be fine, right? Okay, so great game. And I thought also, if Dr. Otto watches at some point, I think F5 is a very testing move. And it was really moving the develop piece twice, which was the thing that got him in trouble. Okay, well done. Boom. Next up, we got a novel. Red Fox in a Box says, it was personal turmoil that brought me back to chess. And seeing my progress has been a real source of strength, helping me find my way through it. With all the change in my life and echoing Jesse's idea of the cave of self-improvement, I felt a renewed drive to improve my chess and have greatly welcomed the much-needed distraction this goal has offered. Maybe I might dive in a little too deep sometimes, but I've enjoyed every moment of the journey. I owe most of my improvement to the Polgar Maiden 2 puzzles, which have been incredibly effective in sharpening my board vision. Absolutely. Especially in recognizing the squares controlled by both my pieces and my opponents. Preach! Preach it! Another major factor in my improvement has been the community of improvers. Nearly all of my interactions have been positive, and having fellow chess lovers to talk with has made the journey even more enjoyable and motivating. One critique I share with others is the lack of involvement in some of the round-robin tournaments, especially around registration and follow-through with games or communications. These areas could definitely be improved to enhance the overall experience. That said, the tournaments have still been awesome whenever I've been able to schedule games and compete. Okay, before I read the rest of that, I want to say 100% agree. And basically, some of the round-robins have had a situation where you have these people who signed up and then just are absent. And then it kills the round robin. Basically, I also, as someone who's played in some round robins, there's kind of an understanding that if you sign up for a round robin and then don't play, your name is mud, buddy. You better have a really good excuse. But we have so many people who have done it, and we've created a system of punishments. A lot of people are saying these punishments need to be more. I'm going to bring that up in the next dojo meeting on Friday. And we're trying to make it a little easier for people to communicate. So, for example, another thing we're going to try to do is the second the round robin starts, there'll be like a Discord channel where everybody's on the same thread. I guess we should call it a Discord thread, where everybody's just immediately, boom, in the same thread. People can say, hey, my name is Joe. Here's some times I'm available. Boop, boop, boop. By the way, did the How to Annotate Classical Games the Dojo Way ever come out? Yeah, it did. Boom. Hit that Amazon link. Give us a buy that book. Give us a review. I just looking at it today. That book needs help. Okay, next, Red Fox in a Box says, my next goal is to get back to my peak rating of 1450 and build enough confidence to sign up for my first OTB. Beautiful. Okay, here's Red Fox in a Box. So, 21 from Vancouver. Started playing in 21, took a long break, found my passion again in 25. So, beautiful, as you can see, really committed since the beginning of May. And slaying over here with the rating gains. So that looks great. Canada Dojo. If I have a request, you could do a Vancouver Dojo. I will say Vancouver, one of the most beautiful places in the world. Now, it's based on my experience there in the summer. But I'll say in the summer, that place is amazing, man. That place is amazing. Okay, let's see if we got some games. Yeah, dude. If I was gonna move somewhere, if I had to, if I could move anywhere, Vancouver be on the short list. I think it's so popular in Canada, though, that it's, everybody wants to move there. Okay, so first we got a time graph. We do. And we can see that they didn't do terribly. Red fox in a box, maybe you moved a little too fast. Third game is many days. Okay. So, I would say I was rushing my attack and trying to force things when the position didn't call for it. Okay. So, let's get into it. Here's red fox in a box. So far, so good. It's funny, the way openings work. I've been playing the French for decades, and it's really only in the last 5 years that people have started taking on d5, and it's all because Magnus did it a couple times. And now everybody's taking on d5 like a maniac. Fine. 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 Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the things that's really fascinating about this position from the white perspective is white needs to understand that it's really going to be an attack on both sides situation. And the point of c3 is not just to defend the pawn, but to get the party started. He must get the party started, like c3, knight d2, b4, knight b3. Black is going to go at it, like these green arrows suggest as well. Okay, so now castles. I want to stress, if you had slowed down, I think you would find it. Knight takes d4 looks even stronger than bishop takes f3. All right, so now we're back to more normal circumstances. And he talks about king b8. I love your f6 move. And one of the things to see about what bishop f4 mistakenly did was you want to play f6, g5 anyway. f6, by the way, works not only for the g5, h5 plan, but just a simple control over the e5 square, which is important. So what I want to say is, this is a good example of the way the bishop on f4 will work as an accelerant to our attack. I feel like a fireman when I use the word accelerant. But that's precisely who white wants to be. He wants to be a fireman and shut down black's counterplay. Because I'll tell you this, whoever is faster in this position will win. And king b8 is slow. Now he says equal. Okay. Bishop b5. I don't like it. I was a little surprised by this move as it felt like a waste of time. Great. And you talk about a4. I think also knight b3 looks interesting, intending knight c5. Good. Poor. Good. Ooh, and that can't be it. So now you think for almost 3 minutes and play h4, and yeah, bishop f5 looks amazing. Notice just the obvious, this is an unopposed bishop. It'd be a real hard thing to stop. And also, I'm going to claim, it might not be true, but even this looks devastating. Or at the bare minimum, it's going to be very hard for white not to get mated here. I think he's going to get mated. Okay, so king c7, bishop c7, we missed it. And now bishop d6. That seems a little weird to me. I don't know why we wouldn't take the pawn. Knight h2, passive. f5, good. I like in principle what you're doing. Queen g4. Oh, that's a blunder. That's a blunder. Bang, baby. Bang. Welcome to the dojo. One insight I've gained for myself is, we have people in, say, the under 1,000 cohorts doing tactics. To my mind, what is deciding those games in the under 1,000 cohorts are not tactics. They are people hanging stuff. So just a basic thing where something is attacked and then somebody doesn't see it. Tactics, I would call this one Bishop H2. Let's call it like an elementary tactic. And it's obviously not that deep or anything, but that's, let's say, the kind of two mover that we're going to start. This is going to be winning the games now that we're above 1,000. They'll still hang their pieces sometimes, but I'm just saying in general, this is what I'm noticing in terms of what decided the game. Okay, Red Fox in a Box, great story. Juicy Grain. What does Juicy Grain say? Nothing. Juicy Grain, what do you got to say? He's a chess improver. Let's give him a follow. Joined fairly recently. We got no clubs. We got no games. Oh, we got a USCF. We got some of this. So, joined fairly recently. What do we want? We want some games up there. We want, I see a heat map. Okay, my friends, I'm going to take a quick break for myself. I'll be back in a second.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the club is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he's got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that ain't hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truan. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming with the plus equal.
All right, my friends, we are back, and we are going to look at countertransference here. Countertransference has done a little bit of work. We're going to give him a follow. Join the dojo there, you see. Been working pretty good since he or they joined. So, 1468 though, Bows. Wrong cohort. So, get to the right cohort, man. And then we'll cover one of your games. We'll take a look at your profile, give you a chance to get some games in there. All right, next up we have Krishna. Krishna's also done a bit of work. And it's Krishna in India. He is nice. So, joined last year. I'll tell you the guerrilla marketing thing that we did. So, you know, I did this video about Gukesh and his poor time management. I think he's going to fix it. I think, you know, it's going to be a thing. He's 18. He's going to fix this thing. And anyways, so we were like, I should say, I was like, wait a second. We usually don't promote the videos on YouTube, but I was like, let's spend a couple dollars and promote this in India and see what happens. And bam! Oh man. Oh, with that thing, gazillion subscribers happened and we passed 100K on ye old YouTube. It was a huge milestone for us. So that was our guerrilla thing in India. And really, The dojo aspires to have more people from India in the program. Okay, so let's take a look. Club. Asian. Now, Krishna, if I have a request, it's that you create a Mumbai India club. Icy asks, when is it common to stream coverage of games so we can play round robin games during that period? Good question. I would say your best bet for that kind of thing would be David's weekend coverage. A lot of times he does Friday nights and Saturdays, and maybe you could just give him a message. So he's doing like a summer vacation in Hawaii now, but he's still going to be streaming and stuff. So I would say maybe ask him about that. Okay, so not a lot of work so far. Do we got games? We got some games. All right, these are 30-10s. Krishna, we do want to stress at this level, you should be playing longer games than this. Ooh, and these are all ancient games, Krishna. These are ancient. So, I'm going to take a look at this 30-30, but in general, we want more recent games for when we go over them. We don't have a clock here. Let's just go game review. Boom. Let's see what's going on here, Krishna. So far, okay. Now, we definitely should do more notes here. Okay. Poor, not developing. That's the kind of thing we want to do some notes on. Castles, C5. Maybe, interesting. A3, interesting. Snip, snop, B4. Oh, very nice. 97, 95. Great chess. Great chess. And now you got a very powerful position here. B6. Oh, look at this. Let's bring the knight in, baby. Oh, yeah. Very sweet. Now, big momentito here. You play rook C1, and you've got several very nice looking moves. To me, the big one will be, couldn't we play B5? Because we're threatening ye old C6. That looks like a hard nut to face. You played rook C1, snip, snop. Now notice that might have looked natural because if you play DC, the pawn is hanging, but it lessens this pawn roller that you have going. You still have a beautiful position. That's just hanging a pawn. Now you took with the bishop, and you took with the knight, fine. And now you can play this, fine. Fine. That wasn't it. Knight F5. You're just killing him. Look at this. Check to the miserable king. So, Krishna, great. I'm hoping, I think you'll graduate again, well, hopefully pretty soon. And the thing we'll stress is that get some more recent games analyzed. All right? And get that Mumbai club. I want to see that Mumbai club up there. We got a question from Bastoon. Bastoon's a famous dojoer. I've got more active in the program, but I'm not anymore on the Discord server. Do you know how I can join it again? Well, I think there's a variety of ways. Generally, on every YouTube channel we have has a link to the dojo and dojo server. Yeah, so that would be the easiest way. Okay, now a famous person, Lacrios. And Lacrios says, finally managed to graduate again for the 8th time, but this one was tough with lots of ups and downs. Things I did wrong, too much opening work, too many blitz and rapid, too little classical games. Things I did right. I analyzed most of my games without an engine, kept hacking away at the mates, studied play chess every single day. I found the automated training plan very helpful. Oh, thank you. We worked so hard at that. Reminding me to go through those parts of the program where I was slacking off. Big props to the sensei and the tech team for making this addition to the dojo. I also read Amateur's Mind and found it helpful to have a framework of evaluation. One of the most important things I took away from the book is to stop being reactive and to go forward with my plans. Another useful idea that I hope to take with me going forward is one I took from one of David's old videos. In general, the one who recaptures improves his position the most. Interesting, I'd never heard that. I found this idea applied in many of the most instructive games that I had to study in this cohort. The one who recaptures improves his position the most. I'm gonna just dwell on that for a second. I'd never heard that before. Chorus asks, been stuck at 1700. What changes to make to reach 2000? I'll tell you what you do. You go join the dojo. Go join in fact, actually, this is a good one. If you use, we're going to say pin. I should have pinned this ages ago. But we're going to say pin. Use code dojo to get 40% off till June 15th. You still have a moment to do it. Oh, I hit the wrong button. You still got a momentito to do it. Bang. So, there it is. All right, Lacros, I think that's a great synopsis. I think, that's something anybody could do, especially if it's been a lot of work. It's just say what went right, what went wrong. All right, here we go. This is Lacros, a famous dojoer. Oh, he's doing all kinds of non-dojo work. 1206. Okay. Look at those graduations, my friend. This is why he's famous. This man, he's killing it. Tactics rating way above where he's at. So we're going to see Lacros again quite soon. He's flying up there. All right. Now, what is he doing? Hold on. Let's just activity. He's doing all these tactics. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is like all time of what he's done. But wait. Okay, so this is... Wow, look at all this stuff. Well, wait a second. Activity. Annotate games. Oh, he's playing some Blitz. Modern ideas. Okay. No, he's getting it done. Okay. So let's go take a look at one. First of all, is it bring your own pizza? 60 members. Beautiful. Games. So this is recent. Let's give it a look. And Lacros in the chat says the non-dojo stuff is mostly rapid and analysis of said rapid. All right, this is a dojo game. Competitive. All right, let's see time graph. Interesting. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now, this is a 30-second increment. Definitely seems like White stopped thinking at a certain point. We'll see what's going on there. Let's remind myself around move 22 to think about what's going on with the game. All right, here we go. Fine. Fine. Well, a little weird. This move ended up letting White move his bishop to where he wishes. Yeah. Good. Well said. Good annotation. A little funky. I get it, though, why you're doing it. He wants to stop c4. Poor. Doesn't make any sense. Good move. All right. He's really trying to force through the c4. Okay. Boom, boom. Move our knight. I wanted to keep my knight on the queen side. But look, the knight has no future on c7. It's dominated by that big old pawn. So f6 makes a little more sense to me anyways. How about c5 now? Good move. Okay, now you're doing okay. Knight e4, fancy. Knight c5, good move. Now you're up a pawn. You should at least say thank you. Boom! Now, does it work? This one took me by surprise, but it's no surprise that it did happen. Now, in general, you need a pawn here usually for this thing to work out. Okay, but let's look. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, So, yeah, he gives some variations. Is it scary? So scary. But I don't think it's working. Okay, that isn't it. Bishop e7 now. Good. Now we just go back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bishop b2. He's not doing nothing. He's not doing nothing. f5. I like it. Rook f6 a little bit. I don't know. Like rook b8. Okay, so I want to stress you're still winning, but that was a little funky to put the rook over there. So now I don't like, see, this is what I don't like. Now the knight on c7 is terrible. He's getting a little play. I don't understand queen f2. I don't know why he would trade off his coconuts. Okay, so here's the situation where you are moving too fast, my friend, and you don't have much time. He's moving too fast. And you mentioned bishop e4, which is a good move. So what I want you to see, Lacrios, is the moves, especially actually, you were completely crushing him. Once you played bishop e7, it was clear to everyone involved that his attack had completely bit it here. Now you talk about f5, me is fine, but bishop e7, he's not going to do anything anymore. So you're doing fine here. Bishop b2 makes no sense. So at this point, we want to knock him out. Rook b8, simple. Just tell that bishop no. We don't want him to get the bishop active by taking the pawn, right? So that's weird. Now maybe our pawn's going to fall, right? And then, oh no, he's taking our pawn. Okay, and then it's already like we lost control of this thing. All right, so let's go back to where we were, knight e8. Now we might, well, we shouldn't really be worried about losing, but things have gone bad. Okay, knight d6. Check. Did you miss it? Maybe. Okay. Oh, this wasn't happy. This wasn't happy. All right. So here's where they're both playing pretty fast. White's playing too fast. All right. Now he's playing so fast, maybe we could try to win this game. I don't know about that. Ooh, now that's frisky. I don't like that. In general, you should not be allowing the exchange here to go into the pawn endgame. Now we might lose this thing. All right. So it would be good to know what you felt here. Did you feel like you were winning this thing? Now, let me just tell you one thing about White's play here is, it's time to think here, bud. Oh, man, is it time to think? It's time to start doing some hectic calculations here. All right, here we go. f5. King h4. This is where I don't think White thought this through. Now this is just a draw. And then a crime happens here. Oh, no. Oh, no. So this is one of the algorithms we have at the dojo. Something to know by heart. And yeah, you got to really know. So thank you, Dami. Okay, so one more thing. Just let's stress it here. When we play, let's say this, we never want to go into the pawn endgame if we can help it. So just, play king g6, maneuver the knight, you're going to be fine. This one, maybe you're drawing, probably, I guess, but we're pushing our luck here. You know, this is legitimately scary. Okay, so I would analyze it more. I think you should too, to see if there's some way for white to have pushed you around a little bit here. I'm assuming there isn't, but I'm not 100%. King F3, for example. That would be my little question. Okay, so well done. And what we're going to do real quick is we're just going to go look at Lacroix's training plan. We're going to hit endgame. And so wait, I want to hit show completed tasks. So he's done these algorithms. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. There it is. This is the algorithm where you know not to play King F8. And he says he did it. He said he did it. All right, the shame. The shame. All right, next up, we got Shallow Blue. Sorry about my layout being a little funky there. I'm following Shallow Blue already, but I guess because they graduated. They must have graduated. Yeah, they graduated a ways back. He took a break, and now Shallow Blue is back for us. Okay, 13-16. Beautiful. Clubs. Okay. Games. Ah, Shallow Blue. Buddy. Let's get some games up, bud. Let's get some games. All right. Oh, I'm running low on steam here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a day, and I'm coming back tomorrow. And I'm going to try to be a little bit more religious about posting when I'm going to do these things and all of that. I have to get ready for the dojo talks that we got going on. Let me tell you what we got, actually. So today we're doing request from the community. Can Hans Niemann become world champion? Oh, we got things to say. There'll be some controversy today. Okay, so we're going to raid somebody. There's loads of people to raid. Who are we going to raid here? There's so many people. Let's raid the famous GM Solver. Bang. Falgor says STL. We raid them a lot. Yeah, we raid them a bit. All right. GM Solver. I'm not sure. I think I know who this is, but I'm not entirely sure. Here we go. Raid. Bang. Yeah, this guy's famous. All right.